GHOD, loaded down.
Chapter 9, The Echoes of the Unknown. Opening scene in the quiet of solitude. The dawn crept into Sai's private quarters, casting long shadows across the room. He awoke with a gasp, his body still bearing the marks of yesterday's trials. But the physical exhaustion was overshadowed by a restless energy, a burning anticipation for what lay ahead. Sai thinking.
The second round was brutal, but I survived. I proved myself. What will they throw at me next?
He rose from his bed, his muscles protesting with every movement. He began his morning routine, a series of exercises designed to hone his body and focus his mind. Sai thinking.
I can't afford to be complacent. The go hard or die forces demand constant vigilance, constant improvement.
Hours passed, and the silence within the facility grew unsettling. He decided to exit his quarters, venturing into the halls of the facility. As Sai wandered the corridors, a sense of unease creeping into his heart. Sai thinking.
Where is everyone? Why haven't they summoned me for the third trial?
The silence was broken by a sudden commotion. A figure emerged from the shadows, launching a surprise attack. Sai reacted instinctively, his reflexes honed by years of training. He parried the blow, his eyes widening in recognition.
Good morning, Sai. Ready for round 3?
Scene shift, the dance of shadows. Before Sai could respond, another figure joined the fray. Omega Red, his movements a blur of technological prowess, attacked with a ferocity that caught Sai off guard. Sai thinking.
What's going on? Why are they attacking me?
He fought back, his mind racing, trying to understand the situation. He realized that this was no ordinary trial. This was a test of his ability to adapt, to survive against overwhelming odds. As the battle raged, another figure emerged from the shadows. Blue flames, his eyes burning with intensity, joined the fray. Sai found himself facing 3 formidable opponents, each one a master in their own right. Sai thinking.
This is insane. How am I supposed to defeat all 3 of them?
He fought with a desperate fury, his movements fueled by adrenaline and instinct. He dodged, blocked and counterattacked, his body a weapon honed by years of training. But the odds were stacked against him. Red Dawn's agility, Omega Red's technological enhancements, and Blue Flame's unpredictable attacks proved to be a formidable combination. Sai thinking.
I can't keep this up forever. I need to find a way to turn the tide.
He tapped into his unique ability, mimicking the movements and tactics of his opponents. He adapted to their fighting styles, turning their own strengths against them. The battle raged on, a chaotic dance of shadows and steel. Sai, his body battered and bruised, refused to give up. He fought with a ferocity that surprised even himself. Sai thinking.
I won't be defeated. I will not break.
Just as he reached the brink of exhaustion, a new figure emerged from the shadows. Death Stare, his eyes cold and calculating, joined the fray. Sai thinking.
This is impossible. 4 against 1. I can't win.
But he refused to surrender. He fought on, his spirit unbroken, his determination unwavering. One by one, the other members of the Go Hard or Die forces joined the battle. Silent Storm, Fallen Star, Humble Beast, Straight Shooter, Cold Diesel, Hell's Angle, and even Arctic Fox himself. Sai found himself facing the entire team, a seemingly insurmountable challenge. Sai thinking.
This is it. This is the ultimate test.
He fought with every ounce of strength he could muster, his body a blur of motion, his mind a whirlwind of tactics and strategies. As Sai took blow after blow from the GHOD unit, the sheer overwhelming flurry of attacks from all the GHOD members proved to be where Sai has finally met his match. As time seemed to slow down and Psy's sight started to blur from exhaustion, the GHOD forces standing over Psy's weakened form readied to deliver the final blow. The lights in the area started flickering. Time appeared to slow down while Arctic Fox watched intently. Then in what seemed like an instant, Psy vanished. Re-emerging behind the 11 GHOD members, they were all stunned when Psy just disappeared. Once the GHOD members fixed their eyes upon Psy, he was standing in a defensive stance, and his body was radiating an aura that seemed to emit black smoke. Arctic Fox watched as Psy started to collapse out of exhaustion. At that very moment, a code name for Psy imprinted itself on Arctic Fox's mind.
Black Phantom.
The challenge continued for a short while, but the combined might of the go hard or die forces was too much. Psy, his body battered and bruised, his energy depleted, finally collapsed to the ground. Arctic Fox thinking,
He's incredible. He faced us all and he never gave up. He's truly worthy.
As Psy lay on the ground, his vision blurring, he heard Arctic Fox's voice.
Psy, you have proven yourself beyond a shadow of a doubt. You are a true warrior, a worthy member of the Go Hard or Die forces.
He knelt beside Psy, placing a hand on his shoulder.
From this day forward, you will be known as Black Phantom. Welcome to the team.
For Psy, a wave of exhaustion washing over him smiled weakly. He had faced the ultimate test, and he had emerged victorious. He was now a true member of the Go Hard or Die forces, a warrior forged in the fires of adversity. The chapter continued, delving deeper into the character's psyche, the revelations about the nature of the trials, and the evolving dynamics among the forces in the Go Hard or Die saga. The continuation of Chapter 9, The Birth of Black Phantom. Opening scene, Psy awakening. Psy's eyes fluttered open, the harsh fluorescent lights of his private quarters piercing through the fog of unconsciousness. His body ached, a symphony of protesting muscles and bruised flesh, a testament to the brutal trial he had endured. He tried to sit up, a wave of dizziness forcing him back down. He glanced around the room, his gaze landing on a sleek black suit hanging on the wall. It was unlike anything he had ever seen, a masterpiece of technology and design. A figure stirred in the shadows, Arctic Fox emerging from the darkness.
Black Phantom, you've finally awakened.
Psy turned his head, spotting Arctic Fox seated in a dimly lit corner of the room. His expression was unreadable, a mix of curiosity and anticipation.
Who's Black Phantom, Captain Arctic Fox?
Arctic Fox chuckled, a rare sound that echoed through the room.
That's your code name, Psy. From now on, until your death, you will be known as Black Phantom.
Psy struggled to remember the events that led to his collapse.
What happened? The last thing I recall is the fight.
Arctic Fox produced a small handheld device from his pocket.
This will help you remember.
He activated the device, and a holographic image flickered to life. It showed Psy battling the entire Go Hard or Die Forces unit. Even though his movements were a blur of speed and power, Psy was being overwhelmed. Then, something extraordinary happened. Psy's body began to radiate a dark, pulsating energy, his eyes glowing with an otherworldly intensity. He moved with a speed and ferocity that defied human limitations, his strikes carrying an almost supernatural force. Psy thinking,
What was that? What happened to me?
The recording ended, and Psy looked at Arctic Fox, his eyes wide with disbelief.
I don't understand. What was that power? It seems you possess a latent ability, Psy. A power that lies dormant within you, waiting to be unleashed.
He paused, his gaze intense. Psy thinking,
What is this? What am I capable of? You unlocked something within yourself, Psy. something extraordinary. You tapped into a power that none of us have ever witnessed before.
He explained how Psy, in the face of overwhelming odds, had triggered a latent ability, a power that allowed him to transform into what seemed to be a different person completely, mimicking and adapting to any situation and any opponent.
You became a force of nature, Psy, a whirlwind of power and precision. You earned your code name, Black Phantom.
Psy watched the holographic image, his mind reeling from the revelation. He had always known he was different, but he had never imagined the extent of his abilities. Psy thinking,
Black Phantom. It has a nice ring to it.
This is just the beginning, Psy. You have much to learn, much to master. But I have no doubt that you will become one of the greatest operatives the go hard or die forces have ever seen. This power is a gift, Psy, but it is also a responsibility. You must learn to control it, to harness it for good.
Scene shift, the GHOD forces debriefing. In the main chamber, the members of the Go Hard or Die forces were gathered around a circular table, their faces etched with a mixture of awe and apprehension. They had just witnessed Psy's transformation, his unleashing of a power that had left them speechless.
I'd never seen anything like it. He was like a demon possessed, his movements a blur of darkness and lightning.
He was unstoppable. We were like rag dolls in his hands.
His eyes, they were filled with a power that chilled me to the bone.
He moved like a phantom, his presence barely perceptible. It was as if he were one with the shadows themselves.
His mind was a fortress, impenetrable to my prose. He was a master of his own thoughts, his emotions.
He was a beast in leash, a force of nature. I felt like a mere insect in his presence.
He was a marksman's nightmare. He dodged every strike, every flurry of our attacks, with an almost supernatural awareness.
He was a master of movement alone, his senses weaving a tapestry of deception and persuasion. I felt my own strikes bending to his will.
He was a technological marvel, his body radiating an energy that disrupted our systems, our weapons. He was a walking EMP.
He fought us all, and he never gave up. He was terrifying, but also magnificent. He was like a god among men.
Arctic Fox, observing the conversation, felt a surge of pride. He had seen the potential in Psy, but even he had underestimated the true extent of his abilities.
Psy, or rather Black Phantom, has shown us that he is more than just a recruit. He is a force to be reckoned with, a weapon of unimaginable power.
He paused, his gaze sweeping across the faces of his team.
But with great power comes great responsibility. We must guide him, train him, and help him control this power. For if he loses control, the consequences could be devastating.
The team nodded in agreement, their faces etched with a mixture of determination and apprehension. They knew that they had a responsibility to help Black Phantom harness his power, to ensure that it was used for good, not for evil. Scene shift, Psy's quarters. Psy sat on his bed, the holographic recording still playing in his mind. He was overwhelmed by the revelation of his own power, the realization that he was capable of such incredible feats. Psy thinking,
This power, it's a part of me, but it's also something more, something ancient, something primal.
He looked at the high-tech suit hanging on the wall, its sleek design hinting at the power it contained. Psy thinking,
This suit, it's more than just armor. It's a conduit, a channel for my power.
He felt a surge of excitement, a sense of purpose he had never experienced before. He was Black Phantom, a warrior forged in the fires of adversity, a weapon of unimaginable power. Psy thinking.
I will use this power to protect the innocent, to fight for justice, to uphold the ideals of the go hard or die forces.
He stood up, his gaze unwavering, his resolve unshakable. He was ready to embrace his destiny, to become the hero he was meant to be. Scene shift, back to the main chamber. Arctic Fox, observing his team's reactions, nodded in satisfaction.
Black Phantom has proven himself worthy. He is a valuable asset to the go hard or die forces.
He paused, his gaze sweeping across the faces of his team.
But we must remain vigilant. Black Phantom's power is immense and it could be dangerous if left unchecked. We must guide him, train him, and help him control his abilities.
The team nodded in agreement, their faces etched with a mix of excitement and trepidation. They knew that Black Phantom was a force to be reckoned with, a weapon that could change the very balance of power in the world.
We must ensure that he uses his power for good, for the betterment of humanity. We must ensure that he remains true to the ideals of the go hard or die forces.
The team members exchanged glances, their expressions resolute. They were ready to embrace the challenge, ready to guide Black Phantom on his path to greatness. The team members nodded in unison, their voices echoing through the chamber, all declaring simultaneously, "We will not fail him." The scene fades to black, leaving the future of Black Phantom and the go hard or die forces hanging in the balance. The journey ahead promises to be filled with danger, intrigue, and extraordinary challenges. But with Black Phantom's newfound power and the unwavering support of his team, they are ready to face whatever comes their way.